The year is 2025. President Trump needs to come up with a funding bill and get it through Congress by October 1st or the government will shut down. And a shutdown is one thing that Trump does not want. Not only is it bad for his approval rating, but he's got shit to do. And that shit needs money. You think kidnapping the leaders of foreign countries is free? Hell no. Now the Republicans control the White House, obviously. But they also have majorities in both the House and Senate, which means, in theory, it should be pretty easy for them to get their funding bill passed. In theory, the guy who no one knows who runs the Senate and the twink who runs the House would be able to work together and fund this government. In theory. In reality, though, there's this one little thing called the filibuster, the metaphorical thorn in the Republican side. Basically, for a vote on a bill in the Senate to be had, 60 senators have to agree to end the filibuster and have the vote. The filibuster used to mean that a senator actually had to stand and talk, and so long as they kept talking, a vote could not be had, unless 60 votes to forcefully end the filibuster were had. Senators would use this to hold up bills from passing. However, a while ago the rules were changed, and the senator does not need to keep talking to continue a filibuster. The filibuster does not end so long as the 60 votes to end it have not been cast. Pussies. So while the Republicans did have a majority in the Senate, they didn't have a 60-vote majority, which means the Democrats could just filibuster and prevent the bill from getting through. Which is exactly what they did. The funding bill passed in the House and went on to the Senate, where the Democrats filibustered it, preventing it from going through. They basically wanted one thing: funding extensions for the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. The Republicans and Trump did not want to extend these subsidies, but this was really the one thing the Democrats wanted, and the Republicans said no. And so the game of chicken went on until October 1st, where the government officially ran out of funding and shut down. The Democrats were not backing down on wanting Obamacare to be funded. The government had to furlough nearly 1 million federal employees, and a couple million were forced to work without pay. But still, as the weeks went on, the shutdown continued, and the Democrats were not backing down. Vote after vote failed in the Senate, as all the Democrats refused to accept the Republicans' offer. And the Democrats were right to do this. Not only would funding Obamacare mean that millions of Americans would keep their health care, but also the public was generally on their side. It was a good look for them. And it also made an ass of the Republicans. I mean, they are in control of the House, Senate, and the White House. And yet, they cannot get a funding bill passed, and the government is shut down. Pretty embarrassing. The appropriations bill failed 14 times, and just as Democrats around the country were enjoying themselves, the impossible happened. Hell yeah, the Democrats are blocking the Republicans and saving Obamacare. This is great. I don't see how this can possibly end bad. 8 Democrats have sided with the Republicans and the funding bill passed in the Senate. What? Did they finally get funding for Obamacare? Nope. They got a promise on a vote. What the fuck? Yep, the Democrats caved on November 12th, after over a month of shutdown. All for nothing. Obamacare did not get any funding extensions, and the longest shutdown in U.S. history was ended. Now, the 8 who voted with Republicans will tell you that it was time to end the shutdown, and that the Republicans promised a vote on extending Obamacare, which really means nothing because the twink in the House could just block it. And if you ask Chuck Schumer or other Democrats, they'll say, no, I wanted to keep fighting and keep going until they gave us what we wanted. But that's a load of bullshit because all 8 Democrats who caved are not up for re-election in 2026. It was an inside job. So basically the Democrats shut down the government for 43 days, gave the Republicans everything they wanted, and got nothing in return. Oh, and ensured that millions of Americans would lose their health care. Nice job, guys.